Welcome to episode 18 of the Delta Panthers Pod. I'm Mark Cantor, and winter sports finished up this past week before the holiday break with some great competition. Boys and girls basketball competed in the Palisade Tournament, wrestling dueled with Olathe, then competed in the Warrior Classic, and swimming participated in the Montrose Invitational. Delta Panthers girls basketball probably faced the stiffest competition as they drew three much larger schools, including arguably the best 5A basketball program in the state, if not the overall best program across all classes in Air Academy. I spoke with head coach Kyle Crowder before the tournament. Kyle, kind of a mixed bag this last weekend. You played Eaton pretty well, beat them by a wider margin than you did the week before. Fossil Ridge, not so much.
Yeah, we came out Friday. We had a lot of energy. Felt like the kids were really focused on the things that we needed to do. We knew they had a different lineup. They had a couple of girls coming in that didn't play against us the first time. So didn't really change our assignments. We knew that we wanted to, close out on 24 as much as we could and then limit the three-point looks from the other girls. And I felt like we played really well defensively. I thought offensively, we got going early, jumped to a 15-0 start in that first quarter. And that just kind of set the tone for what we really want to do in games. And it's been kind of a nice surprise this year because, we were always a little bit slow starting, and it seemed like this year we've just been getting off to a really good start. That Fossil Ridge team was good. I mean, they're big, they're athletic, they shot the three well. I mean, just combinations that it's going to be hard to match up against. So, with our zone, the way that we play it, they were able to throw over the top of it. They got quite a few open looks. And we didn't rebound very good. I felt like that we got a little bit tired. We got a little bit lazy in times. And, I think that we could have done things significantly better, maybe kept the score a little bit closer. But all in all, I'm pleased that the girls battled all the way to the end, and the outcome was the outcome. If you lose by 1 or 100, it's still the same. So I feel like that the girls battled. I feel like that, if we saw that team again, I think we'd be a little more prepared and try to counter some of the things they did. But, it's just the little fundamental things, cutting hard, off screens, setting good screens, making sure we're chasing down loose balls. A lot of things that I felt like that we could have been better. Sometimes it's a long road trip and sometimes it's just one of those nights. And I think the future is going to be better. Our travel is going to be a little bit less coming up this week. So I feel like that we're really going to be ready to play this week.
We've talked about playing these teams that we really haven't seen or played before, and there's kind of an unknown about that. How much does that play into it, where we just don't know what to expect? Obviously, we're going to go out and play our game, but we don't necessarily know what to expect from the other team.
I think there's positives and negatives to that. I feel like that our girls like to be prepared, but also in the same sense, like we like to do our thing. We don't really want to make it gimmicky. We don't really want to, change the things that we're good at just to see how they match up against somebody new. So we just try to stay consistent and be better, every time that we go out there, be a little bit better, execute a little bit better, finish a little better. And we're not going to change much. And people are going to scout us and they're going to kind of know what we got. But I feel like that our game, we can play with most everybody. And if we go out there and we play clean, I think we're going to have a chance to win almost all of those.
Could be another interesting weekend here coming up. Bigger schools we're playing this weekend in the tournament at Palisade. And the scheduling's kind of wonky as well. Yeah,
it's kind of one of those things, though. Down the road, you want to play the best competition you can to prepare you. And then, sometimes the way that they've got the bracket set up in the past, we played like a Tuesday, Saturday in regionals. So, it's all learning, and I feel like playing not back-to-back gives us a chance to rest a night. Sleeping in our own bed is going to be a change. It's going to be a nice thing. So, I'm not mad at the schedule, and I think that, playing the good teams that we're going to play, I think is really going to be a benefit for us in the long run.
What do we know about the teams we're going to play? Obviously, Fruta, was first out of the gate, and we're pretty familiar with them. But then Air Academy and the other one is escaping me right now.
Palmer Ridge.
Palmer Ridge, that's right. What do we know about those last two?
Air Academy's good. They've been good for a few years. They're the number one coming in 5A. They got a good transfer, came in from one of the private schools there in Springs. So, they're going to be big, and they're going to be fast, and they're going to be athletic, similar to what Fossil Ridge was. So, just having seen Fossil Ridge, I think that we can kind of mentally wrap our heads around how we're going to have to approach this game to be successful. And then Palmer Ridge is kind of the same way. They're a good shooting team. We saw them a couple summers ago in camp. And they're like 4-5-1 right now. So they're a successful team. So we just got to make sure that we go out there and we do the best that we can, and honestly, if we come in with the right mindset and we're able to execute, I think we're going to have a chance in all three of those games.
What are some of the things you've seen so far early on here that you really like about your team?
We're definitely a team of 8 right now. We got a really good rotation of 8, and all of the 8 kids that are coming in the game can score. All those kids can contribute on the defensive end. So, the exciting thing is that if they do try to take away some of the things that we do, a couple of the teams is really trying to focus on cutting down Taylor's touches, and the rest of the girls are stepping up. So we got good leadership from our older girls, and our younger girls are just getting better every single week. So I feel like they're playing with confidence, and I feel like that they feel like they belong. And a kid that goes out in a game and they feel like they should be there, they're going to play confident, and they're going to do some things that maybe they wouldn't think they have done in the past.
Okay, sounds good. Good luck this final weekend before the break.
Appreciate it. Thank you, Mark.
The girls found scoring at a premium as they lost to Fruta 50-26, Air Academy 72-27, and Palmer Ridge 43-37. Albeit it's 3 in the loss column, iron sharpens iron, and the girls will only get better for the experience against these teams and have a lot to look forward to after the break. The boys also had a tough go drawing Grand Junction, their current nemesis Cortez, and Central. Here's what head coach Rob Ames had to say before the tournament. So, Rob, the second weekend of the season didn't go like the first weekend did, but I'm sure you guys learned a lot as well.
We did. It was two good games for us. We learned a lot, like you said. 2 really good teams that played really good basketball. So it was really a good weekend for us for where we're trying to arrive at. That was a little bump in the road, but we're going to learn from it.
Take me through those games. Obviously, the Classical Academy was first, and then Eaton. Take me through that and how the boys did, and what you liked, what you didn't like, that sort of stuff.
Yeah, TCA, I thought in 32 minutes we played about 7 or 8 good minutes of basketball. We started off really nicely, then we hit a lull, and then we played a pretty nice little fourth quarter to get ourselves back to where we could trade punches with them. They were a good team. And then Saturday, I think it was the day we played Eaton, and they just shot the ball extremely well. I hadn't seen that on any film, the kind of offensive confidence and success that they experienced. Unfortunately, it was a high point against us, but they're good. They're Eaton. They're long and athletic, and they can shoot it, and they out-rebounded us. They out-hustled us. They outshot us. It was a good weekend for us to learn those kinds of lessons.
Now, we haven't really had experience against TCA or Eaton in the past. A little bit of an unknown. Did that play a part in what happened, or do you think it was just they were the better teams?
They were better. I think that Eaton, we felt like we were prepared for what they were going to do. I think Eaton. Well, the Eaton played TCA on Thursday night, and the final score was 47-37. Eaton had not had a lot of offensive success until Saturday morning in their gym, and that's the way it's supposed to be. But there wasn't anything that caught us off guard. It is early, so the things that you see after 1 or 2 games may not be an accurate reflection of who they really are, and that might have been part of it too. But yeah, it was a good weekend for us to sharpen where we're headed.
And you've got one more big weekend, a good weekend of basketball, yes. I think. You've got 3 games coming up in this tournament at Palisade. And what are you looking for from that? The schedule's a little wonky, but some good teams you're going to be playing.
Yeah, really good teams. So we start with Grand Junction, and Grand Junction. They're big. They can shoot it. They have a really great, hard-working big guy that we've got to keep our eyes on all the time. He's a workhorse. In every sense of the word. And then Cortez, that we saw a couple times last summer in camp games. So that'll be fun to see them again, and then close it out on Saturday with Central. So 3 really good games. All of our games so far have only helped us to improve as long as we play our very hardest against them. So then we can see where we stack up. So if we play hard over the next 3 games, we'll have a better idea of who we are and where we're headed. And I think both of them are good things. I think we're headed in the right direction, and I think who we are is a good basketball team.
And closing out on a good note, a positive note here, what are some of the positives? What are some of the good things you've seen from the boys early on?
They're playing hard, they're practicing hard, and they're staying together. You know, we have a nice first weekend, and that's easy. You know, everybody's happy, everybody's smart, everybody's good. And then you drop 2, and it's discouraging. But we came back, and they're just great kids. Energy is great in the gym. They're for each other still, and we're keeping the right perspective. I think that's what they have, is a really good perspective of where we're headed and what the purpose of this preseason schedule is.
Okay, sounds good. Good luck, Rob.
Thanks, Mark.
The boys dropped their 3 tournament games, 60-44 to Grand Junction, 61-47 to Cortez, and 60-58 to Central in a narrow defeat that saw JP Gallegos score a career-high 30 points. Like the girls, the boys saw some stiff competition and will regroup for success following the holidays. Moving on to wrestling, the boys stayed close to home, beating Olathe in their duel 42-39 with Colton Martinez, Cha Pla, Adrian Blair, Evan Blair, Alex McKenna, Rip Lockhart, Jorian Bridges, Seamus McMillan, Banyan Lopez, and Ben Morfitt all picking up victories. From there, they went to Central High School in Grand Junction and competed against 50 other schools in one of the state's largest tournaments, the Warrior Classic. The boys fought hard and came away with 21st. Swimming was in Montrose, and I'll post those results on the Delta Panthers Broadcast Network Facebook page as soon as I get them. Finals are over, and the Delta Panthers are on their holiday break. The Delta Panthers Pod will also take a break for the holidays. I'll be back on January 12th with my next episode, but the Delta Panthers Broadcast Network will resume their broadcast schedule with boys and girls basketball in their home opener against Palisade on Tuesday, January 7th, with the network streaming on StormySports.net. That's going to put a bow on this episode of the Delta Panthers Pod. I hope everyone enjoyed it. If you want to get in touch with me to suggest how I can expand my coverage of the Delta Panthers, feel free to contact me via email at dpbroadcast@yahoo.com. The Delta Panthers Pod drops every Sunday afternoon and is sponsored by Jerry Ryer State Farm, Delta Ace Hardware, Delta Building Center, Delta Cabinet Company, Delta County School District, Home and Motor Company, Quickie Tire Service, Mimi's Sweet Treats, 9 Stories Real Estate, Films and Photography, The Sunflower Room, Taco Time, and Yost Family Dentistry. Merry Christmas, and I look forward to talking to all of you again in the new year.